Welcome back to Golf Center. A couple weeks ago we talked putting, and we're going to continue to talk putting today. A couple weeks ago we covered how to get yourself ready for the putt. In other words, how to read the putt. And to go over that again real quick, we talked about how to go to the side of your putt first, Bob. We talked about how to look at it from the side to determine if we're uphill and downhill and how much, because that's going to dictate to us how fast we're going to hit it, how hard.
And to let your feet do a little of the reading of the putt as well.
That's terrific. That's exactly where we're going to go next. As you're walking around, looking at the putt, and we're going to talk about looking at it from behind the ball and behind the hole in a sec. When you're walking around, a lot of the tour players will tell you that. They can literally feel and get more of a read from what they get in their feet than sometimes what they see, so that's a great point. After we look at it from the side to determine uphill or downhill, then we want to go behind the hole. Behind the hole tells us what's going to happen for the second half of the putt. After we determine kind of how we're going to see the second half of that putt come in, we're going to go behind the ball and determine kind of the first half of the putt, because we know about where the ball has to be to come in the way we want it, so it helps us to judge about how much break we have.
Okay, question for you.
Question.
Do you putt to the apex of the break of the putt? Should that be your target? Or I've also seen a number of people who teach putting say, no, pick a spot a foot in front of you that's on that line, obviously, but just pick that spot and make sure you stroke it over there.
I think you can do both. I think it depends on the person. Some people see all putts as being straight. They see it as what we call linear putters. They see everything as being straight.
Phil Mickelson says they're all straight if you hit them hard enough.
Yeah, they certainly are all straight if you hit them hard enough, no doubt. But when we see a little bit more break in some putts, we definitely want to determine what the apex is. Because if we can't hit that spot, we've got no chance of the ball going in.
Okay.
So what I like to do is I like to pick the apex and then get my line from behind the ball and pick out a spot right in front of my ball that's right in line with the apex so I can get it started there.
And if you're rolling it right at the start, you've at least got a shot.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the fact here that we've kind of got a read now. Okay, we know what our putt's going to do, or at least we'd like to think we do. So now we've got to get an idea as to how hard we hit it. So what I like to see people do is get behind the ball. Okay, and I'm going to kind of put you right in front of the Golf Center sign here, if you would.
Yes.
And face the camera. We're going to have you face the camera. Now, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to look right at the camera, but I'd like you to make your putting stroke for me while you're looking in the camera. So look in the camera.
And you like to do it almost exactly perperpendicular?
I like to be right in line with where I'm going to go. So
look
I
on
want
the
you to
line
pretend you're looking at the line, but as you're making your stroke, I want you to start getting your feel for how hard you think you're going to hit it. So while you're looking at the putt, you're determining how hard to hit it. You're not just looking down, getting yourself ready. You're looking at what your business is. Your business is out there. That's what I want you to get engaged in.
And that would be the analogy we talked about last time about why free throw shooters look at the rim and not the ball. This would be your chance to look at the rim and not the ball.
Exactly right. And just like I said, I really like to see people kind of programming the speed in. You know, like I said, that's where your business is, out there in front of you. So as you're getting ready, I really want you looking the length of the putt, doing everything you can to program the computer up here so it sends the message down to the body as to how to hit it.
All right.
Okay. So let me ask you something.
Yes.
Before you walk in to hit your putt, do you like to do practice strokes behind the ball? Do you like to walk up to the side and do it? Do you have a routine you feel like you are doing every time?
I generally, and routine is an important thing, I know that. And I will generally, yes, I will try a couple of putts when I'm up to the ball. I know Aaron Baddeley is one of those who professes, no, do all the work behind the ball.
And then walk right up.
Put the putter behind it and hit it. Are you in that school?
Well, something I've always done, I've always been somebody to do my business behind, and then I walk up and get right up there. I know Dave Stockton, one of the great putting gurus out there, and obviously a two-time PGA champion. He and his two sons specialize in putting as far as putting schools go and so on. And he's a big advocate of really doing it where you just kind of get your feel and walk right up and hit it. He likes you to look at a spot that's right in front of the ball and actually look at that spot while you're putting.
He's had a little bit of success.
He's had a lot of success with the putter, needless to say. But I'm, like I said though, I think you can do it any way that works well for that person. That's just the way I learned. I just kind of got behind it, and I think, I was sometimes strapped for time playing a lot. So, you just did whatever you needed to do. But I think, based on the person, the people that like to walk up there and do the strokes right next to it and walk in, I think, any way you can get the ball in the hole if that works for you.
Square stance, open stance, make any difference? Closed stance?
If anything, I like to see somebody just a little bit open.
Okay.
I think it can give you, as opposed to being square, a little bit open, thank you. Square like this. I like to leave my shoulders a little square.
Okay.
I'll leave them, but I'll open up my hips and my feet a little bit. It helps me get a good look at my line. That's just something I've always done. You know, you see very few closed putters today.
If you find yourself pulling the ball all the time, then maybe you want to square it up.
That's exactly right. You know, but I think a lot of times what you'll find is somebody that might set up a little open that is pulling, they set up a little open at the same time they open their shoulders. So I've just found for me, if I set my left foot back a little bit but keep my shoulders pretty square, it's something that's worked for me and made me feel fairly comfortable. So like I said, you want to make sure, if anything, you're comfortable over the ball, but it doesn't have to be any one way to do it. You know, you can do it from behind. You can go up and do the practice stroke right next to it before you hop in there.
Sometime soon, we're going to talk about grips. We're going to talk about left hand low. We're going to
we'll
do all of that.
That's going to be the next thing we go over is how you hold it and what happens when you get up to the ball.
All righty.
That's all the time we have for Golf Center this week. We'd like to thank everybody for being with us. For Bob Stevens, I'm PGA professional Chris Tremblay. We'll see you next time.
Get out and play.
Yeah.